We were at my sister's birthday dinner, a fancy restaurant in downtown Chicago where everything sparkled. The walls, the glasses, even the people pretending their lives were perfect. Everyone dressed like it was a small wedding. Suits, heels, shimmering dresses. The energy was loud and chaotic, filled with jokes, stories, and wine flowing non-stop. And right beside me sat my husband, Daniel, quiet, collected, the complete opposite of the wild energy around him. He always carried himself like a man who didn't need attention to be noticed. He sat straight, listened when others spoke, smiled politely, and added small comments now and then. But next to my sister's loud friends and dramatic stories, he seemed almost invisible. And maybe that made something stupid inside me want to poke at him, just to see if I could make him react, make him show emotion, make him look like the bold, loud men these dinners always highlighted. I had no idea how deeply I'd regret it later. The disaster began when the conversation shifted to relationship effort. My sister's newly engaged friend started bragging about her fiancé like he was a Disney prince. Monthly trips, romantic surprises, handwritten notes, massages, flowers delivered to her office. Other couples jumped in, laughing, teasing, comparing sweet gestures. Someone asked, "Who's the most romantic guy at this table?" She squealed and pointed at her fiancé, and everyone applauded. Then someone, I don't even remember who, turned to me and joked, "So how's your husband doing at keeping you happy?" It was meant to be harmless. I could have easily said, "He's amazing," and moved on. But something inside me, ego, insecurity, stupidity, I still don't know, pushed me toward the worst answer possible. I lifted my wine glass, smirked, and said loudly enough for everyone to hear, "Honestly, I think I need a new husband." The laughter came fast, but it wasn't real. It was the kind people use to hide discomfort when they're unsure whether to laugh or defend someone being mocked. I felt the tension, but instead of stopping, I pushed further. I tapped Daniel's shoulder and added, "Seriously, if anyone knows a guy who listens and actually takes initiative, send him my way." My sister's face hardened instantly. She knew I'd crossed a line. Her fiancé looked away. One friend bit her lip awkwardly. And Daniel, he just stared at me. Not angry, not hurt, just cold. A silence with weight. It scared me in a way I didn't understand yet. He slowly set down his fork. No rushing, no fidgeting, no change in his breathing. It was the calm of a man who had just stopped caring in real time. He wiped his fingers with a napkin, placed it neatly on the table, and when he finally spoke, his voice was low, steady, and sharper than I'd ever heard. "Well," he said, "if you're taking applications, I'll gladly free up the position tonight." The air snapped. Every sound in the restaurant vanished. Plates, music, nearby conversations, gone. You could have heard a pin drop. That's how silent it became. He wasn't finished. Leaning back slightly, eyes locked on mine, he continued in the same icy tone. "You joke about needing a new husband, but maybe you should ask why your husband stopped trying in the first place." Someone gasped quietly. My heart slammed against my chest. His words weren't loud, but they were devastating. He kept going. "You've spent so long mocking, belittling, turning everything into a joke. You forgot that eventually people stop wanting to play along." He paused, letting the words sink into me like needles. "If you think disrespect makes you funny, no wonder you're looking for replacements. You don't know how to value what you have." I tried to speak, my voice shaking. "Daniel, I was just—" He raised a hand gently. That single gesture silenced me completely. "No," he said. "Stop, you weren't joking. You meant it enough to say it publicly." He took a calm sip of water, then added, his control more frightening than anger, "You've embarrassed me before, but tonight you embarrassed yourself more than you realize." My sister looked pale. Her friend whispered, "Holy wow." Even the waiter froze, then quietly stepped away. And me? I felt the blood drain from my face. I had never seen Daniel like this. Not once in all our years together. He wasn't angry, he was finished, completely finished. And that realization hit my stomach like a heavy stone. He stood up. No dramatic gestures, no slamming hands, nothing theatrical. He adjusted his jacket, placed his napkin neatly beside his plate, and looked at me with finality in his eyes. "You want a new husband," he said quietly. "Good, because after tonight, you won't have to pretend anymore." My throat tightened. "Daniel, please." He didn't even fully turn toward me. He simply replied, "That's the problem. You only say please when the damage is already done." Then he walked away. No yelling, no scene, no anger, just a calm, devastating exit. The table stayed frozen for almost a full minute. My sister stared at me in disbelief. Her fiancé muttered, "Damn, he really meant that." Someone else whispered, "Why would you say that to him?" I felt myself shrinking into my chair, heat flooding my face as the weight of what I'd done finally settled in. I had pushed away the one person who had always stood by me. I had mocked the man who supported me through everything. I had turned him into a joke, and he finally stopped allowing it. The noise of the restaurant slowly returned, but the shame didn't fade. It grew heavier, louder, crushing. Because Daniel's ice-cold reply wasn't just a comeback. It wasn't just a moment. It was a breaking point, one I had created with my own careless words. And for the first time, I realized I might have truly lost.